Well, we're going to get the Neutrino LED headlights installed today. A friend of mine is a mechanic. It doesn't look that hard to do, but when it comes to the electronics portion, I wanted him just to kind of help a little bit. So, you know, gonna load it up. Now, those are the low beams. Those are the stock low beams. And let's try the high beams on. So that's with the high beams on. So definitely like the 4-bulb arrangement from CanAm, but I don't know, for the money on these machines, you'd think they could give you an upgrade right from the factory. So this is on a sunny day right under a shady tree, just to give you a little perspective. I think with the camera, you know, they look probably pretty bright on camera, but they're very average out in the forest when it's dark. So we'll check in a little bit later and see how things are coming along with the install.
Yep.
Alright, so we got the, we're working on the low beams now. The low beams are the ones you have to put the brackets on. And as you can see, there's 4 silver screws. You put the bracket on, and then you can see there's 2 spacers. So there's 2 spacers per each light, and that lines everything up. And now we put the gasket, the little rubber gasket on. We're just putting a little bit of grease on there, even though the instructions don't say, just a little bit. And next thing we'll be putting them in. So we had to take the inside fender trim piece off on the left-hand side, fished up the power hook up to the 12-volt, snaked it through and attached it there. And then that's basically it before we start zip tying. Everything is connected. These brackets are a pain in the ass, but we got them all set up. There you can see the tension adjusters, so you can adjust your angles of your lights. The low beam bracket was probably the hardest thing to figure out, but as you can see, the bracket attaches with those 4 stainless screws with spacers, and then you use the stock screws with stainless springs from the kit. And then the inside, the high beam, that actually just connects directly with no bracket. So pretty straightforward. Okay, so we ran the halo wire harness right along the vent tubes all the way down.
Through the bracket.
Right, yep, put them to the bracket. And then down alongside the radiator. So right where Martin's kind of pointing there.
Yep, shoot across.
And then we kind of came across to the other side over the top of the shock, right? To the other side,
Yep.
Martin?
Yep, right through the cross member.
Right to the cross member.
And then want to follow the harness of the radiator.
And then went right down along, and then we're zip tying it up for now. So we'll show you the bundle in a second. So, see him pulling it through there. So we went along kind of the right across the, yep, right along the bottom of the radiator, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Underneath the radiator support.
Underneath the radiator support, keeping it out of the way of the fan, obviously.
But near the winch.
So, kind of by the winch. And now we're zip tying everything up in the bundles, keeping everything neat. Then we got to put an interior trim panel on the inside wheel well, and then put all the gauge cluster and everything back, and then we should be good. Alright, so we got everything hooked up, doing a little test. So those are the halos that come on as soon as you put the ignition on. Martin, yep, so those are the low beams, and there's the high beam. So I don't even know how that's going to look on the video, but it's pretty damn bright. I don't know how many lumens that is, but it's got to be at least 3 or 4 times brighter than the stock headlights. Wow. Yeah, that's pretty bright. Let's just see those halos one more time, Martin. Turn it all off. So even those, I guess you call them like almost like daytime running lights. Those are beautiful. Yeah, that's quite a big improvement. Definitely. Wow. All right. Time to put everything back together. All right, so what we found is to snake it up into the 12-volt outlet, take the gauge cluster off, this piece here by the air filter, and we had to loosen up this body panel, which there's one plug right here, and then there's like one screw up in here. And then we're wiring it in front of the radiator across to the other side, and then we're zip tying all this extra wire. So RJWC did a real nice job on their Deutsch connectors and all the wiring. Everything really hooks up, but it is time consuming. And Martin is a master mechanic, so I don't know if it would have took me all weekend to try to do this on my own, and we had to kind of look at a few things 2 or 3 times to really make it work. So alright, so this is the right side. That's the finished cable harness, all zip tied up and everything. I mean, it's probably not even going to come out in the video how bright it is with the low beams and the high beams, but. And this is the trim panels all back on. That's the cable harness, all zip tied. I mean, geez, it looks almost factory. We ran it across, again, the front radiator. And I don't know, according to RJWC, that's 3,200 lumens per light. So it's a lot of light. I don't know how it's going to come out in the video, but it's pretty intense. And then that's the low beams. And then as soon as you put the ignition on, it's got the halos, which I think you can see on the video, hopefully. So that's the finished product, folks. Now I just got to dial them in at dark, level them, and enjoy. Thanks, Martin. Okay, that is just the low beams in my backyard. And now we're going to put on the high beams. Wow. Yeah, I would say that's pretty good. Wow. 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 I think the low beam is probably enough, but Jesus. I think that was worth it.